What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Generational Podcast. I am your host, Desmond DeRay, here with my co-host Mario Torres and Christopher Riggs, uh, aka One Trick Daddy, Scarada, and Roxas. Today we're going to be talking about some things. First and foremost, we're going to pass it to Mario. He's going to explain some things, and then we're going to get right into the cast.
All right. So there's been some minor changes with the cast. We've had a lot of scheduling issues. So in order to accommodate for our schedules, we're gonna be changing things up a little bit. It might be permanent, might not be, but for the next 2 months and so on, this is how it'll be. So what we're gonna do is all our videos are gonna be less than an hour long. We're gonna try to never go over an hour. Most casts will be anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes, just to accommodate the time. And all videos now will be posted every 2 to 4 weeks rather than every week, and it will be on weekends only, to so we don't have to have a set schedule. And pretty much for the most part, this is just a way to help us through the holidays since we are very busy because we still want to keep doing this very much. We're all still passionate about talking about the music that we like, and this is just the best way to go about it for us at the time being.
Yeah, and then with everything that's going on, a lot of stuff has happened between each of the episodes. Besides mostly scheduling, it's also been like not lack of for like a good like week or two. There was a good like lack of content that happened, but then like once we stopped doing it, a ton of stuff just dropped. Also a lot of things with we can no longer stream the podcast on twitch.tv anymore. Due to bigger companies are now DMCAing a lot of content, which means if you play any kind of copyrighted music, your VOD can either get entirely taken down now instead of just being muted, and your channel can now get strikes and be permanently banned. We don't want to risk any One Trick's channel, which is Riggs's channel, from being banned. I also don't want to be banned currently at the moment, so like literally. But yeah, so now these podcasts are now just going to be recorded. We can no longer, at the moment, stream on any platform, I think, besides like Facebook, but Facebook isn't really where we want to go or do any of that kind of stuff. So for now, these are just going to be recorded episodes, and they're just going to be, like Mario said, uploaded every other weekend.
Yep.
So, well, that's for the update on why we've been gone. So today, our main topics for today are going to be talking about the Kid Laroi album, mostly the Deluxe album, because it has been out for over a couple months now. But he did just drop his Deluxe album, which he put 6 to 7 more songs on, and we're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to talk about another album that dropped previously in the past couple weeks. It's the Joyner Lucas Evolution album. It just came out. He had teased it with a couple of songs, and he just ended up releasing the entire thing. We're going to be talking about that. First, we're going to be talking about the Kid Laroi Deluxe album.
Good.
Dude.
So I just heard it, but thhave been hearing it longer than I have. So we're gonna go ahead and get Riggs' opinion on it.
Oh, dude, I'm a huge like the Kid Laroi fan. The moment I found out of his existence, I like spam chat at you guys about it, and I've just been a fan of him since. And, like, we won't talk again too much about the actual like album that was originally made, but just we were all fans of the original album. We all loved almost every song, if not every song, and it just continued to be good with the Deluxe album. Thankfully, like, because that's my worry whenever somebody drops a Deluxe album is, oh fuck, dude, the album was already good. Why would you do this? Might be bad now.
Yeah.
But this album was legitimately good. It had the Marshmallow feature was pretty interesting, and then Machine Gun Kelly, who I wasn't expecting in the slightest, he actually like. I'm not even really a Machine Gun Kelly fan, but his verse popped off. And then Young Boy never broke again, man. I just love saying his name, but he also popped off.
Yeah.
I mean, I always expect Young Boy to show up whenever he comes on a feature.
He's just letting everywhere, man. The dude hustles with this music, man.
He is.
Literally like a song or two every week to every other week. It's crazy. The dude just doesn't stop making music.
Yeah. So the context of the album, it's mostly about heartbreak and getting over a girl. And
But
this
also
one,
being the reason he's also heartbroken. They're like
yeah,
simultaneously breaking each other's hearts.
it's definitely a back and forth kind of album on both perspectives.
Mhm.
So he definitely makes that also pretty pretty conveying in his music videos as well. We're gonna be watching one of those for whichever song. But before we watch that, we're gonna be talking about that. I think from me listening just now to the couple of songs, I definitely think I didn't really like the Pikachu song. Thought it was kind of like very minor. It was just kind of like what I expected at it, like any other rapper. It was just kind of like a small reference what any rapper could do. It didn't really stand out to me. It was kind of basic. I also didn't really like the So Done. I listened to it before I think when it was released, but I also wasn't still like convinced it was like an okay song.
It grew on me a lot. I would thought it was okay at first too, but now when that song comes on and like the fast part comes in, I just go, I think that you got it. I think you realized that you ain't nobody. They're wasting my time.
It has good lyrics, but I don't know. To me, it's a little what is it? It's a little repetitive. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be said for a lot of his songs because like they sound like they're repetitive, but I don't know. This one just is So Done for me also just it's not one of my favorites, but it's like slowly growing on me, which is it's a lot of his music for me, but this one's like probably like one of my least favorites in the album. To me, Always Done is, or I mean, Always Do is still my favorite song in that whole deluxe. It's I can't always bump to that song, man.
It's a really good song, dude.
Yeah.
I definitely like the rest of the other songs though. Those are really I could just was bopping. And like
Dude, Without You is so different, and I like it so much because of just he pulled off how different it was.
Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like a mix of X and Juice Worlds, like how their styles were, because like that's honestly just the way it reminds me. It has that really good mellow vibe with it, and then he's talking about his feelings and everything, and I think that shows like a lot of like a little bit of diversity in his songs, and that one was more of a
it shows that he's
I'm saying this to get it out because I don't want to hold it in. Yeah. So
one thing I do have to say is that what I think is this just one of this guy's strengths in general is that I don't think this guy, at least in my personal opinion, I don't think this guy ever has like a bad chorus. Like there'd be other parts of songs that like this like I'm not enjoying. I don't enjoy as much because of other parts, but I think I've always enjoyed like any chorus that this guy has ever had.
Yeah, I think that's like one of his biggest strengths.
Yeah, the hooks for most of his songs are always usually catchy. Like there's something that you always like sing to when it comes on for sure.
Yeah.
That's what we like to call the bop.
Fuck you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
For
you heard me. For the last time, yeah.
it's so stuff. Good every time, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, my feelings about the deluxe edition is mostly positive. I think like, honestly, just most of the songs in there are just good. Like the features are all pretty much all good. The marshmallow one's probably the most interesting one, just because it's like it's something that you wouldn't necessarily expect, but like it definitely works with how his music's made.
Yeah.
The NBA, the Young Boy NBA one, like, I really do like Young Boy's like his flow is something I disliked for a really long time. When he like first started coming out, but like
I'm also not gonna lie, I really don't like his flow either.
Same.
Yeah, but like on a lot of songs, he just like he just works, and I don't know why. But there's just like some songs of his and his features that I just like. I'm like, damn, dude, this shit's a bop. I think
Yeah.
the first song that I really liked the most was the one when he featured on Juice World song.
Bandit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I his
Dude,
flow is
that's a
just
year old
really
now.
damn.
Yeah.
Damn, my boy.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
like,
yeah, shit's wild, man.
yeah, I think that's where like his biggest strengths comes in. Because I think for a while he was like a really good feature artist. Uh,
Hmm.
I could see the appeal with his like earlier music. Like a lot of people like that. It was just like it was kind of like that come up rapper that you always see in the streets who's always rapping, and then
Yeah,
always had like the upper kind, like the money to make to get a beat.
He
And
was the
so I
boy
think,
that.
yeah, he was literally just that kid who can just get like a good beat and then just go off on it if given the right tools. And then I think he kind of like slowly like slowed down a little bit in like terms of style when once he got like signed. But then he realized like quickly like later on he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just grind out this music and then also at the same time just perfect his style. And I think that's where Bandit is. It's like the biggest example you can find of where he just his whole style just like switched up and is you can see almost everything where he improved and like he's gonna keep getting better and better and he has like this song with Kid Laroi. He literally just I didn't expect from like his range on that kind of song to be like that. I thought it was gonna be like a little bit harder and more grungier, but
hmm.
he brought like a really smooth style to it and I was like, damn, that shit really hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's overall, like I said, it's just a good album. I think we all liked it.
Yeah.
Even though you've only heard it like just now, Desmond, I think just judging based on your opinions, it's like I said, it's like mostly positive all around.
Yeah.
Maybe like the one or two songs here and there that we just have like a minor
I
opinion
think
about. That's
my most disliked song on the album now is just Pikachu. I literally just
yeah, that's fair.
hate. I
The
literally was like listening to this. I was like, this is
the
garbage. Dude. I
only
don't want to
point
listen
of
to
the
this.
song is just the that beginning part, which is I pull up in a yellow Lamborghini like Pikachu.
That's it. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
That's
took
the
away
whole
from the whole
song.
song. That's like that's all I needed. Now I'm out. And I was like,
I'm out.
the ending to that song actually like surprised me. That's the part I enjoyed more. But everything before that was just like, yo, let's fucking just make the ending part the whole song, dude. Make it 30 seconds. That's all I want.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. After the MGK feature, I actually kind of hope he does more features with him, like in the future. I think
Yeah.
that was I think that was like the home run on the features. They work like hand in hand together.
Oh yeah, I think MGK is better at doing like his rocker and like sad boy stuff than he is actually
Yeah,
as a hardcore rapper. I'm just like,
I
yeah,
like MGK's sad boy stuff a lot actually.
I was listening to his song with Little Skies and I was just like, yeah, this shit just bops.
Yeah.
Fucking skateboards, dude. No, but
Yeah.
he
So
definitely
yeah.
popped off in this feature, 100%.
So does what would you rate it in your opinion, being the one who listened to it just now?
So I originally gave the album a solid 8. I think with the deluxe songs now, I think it moves up to a solid 9. Because the songs, just the lyrics themselves and the feelings you get from it conveys in that songs are super well. Um, besides like the one song, and I think that's
Mhm.
the. But I think what he could have done more is also, I think if he added like another 2 or 3 songs, because my problem is what I've always had a problem with, and it's like the same thing as Little Tekka. They're just too short. I want more.
Yeah, it's very reasonable.
Yeah. And
How
I
about
think
you,
if he
Riggs?
went like an extra minute or long, it would have been better.
The album originally for me was a 9, and it's still a 9 for me because, like I said, for me to have a 10, and like near everything has to be perfect on it. But it keeping a 9 makes me very happy because I used to just spam hear the original album all the time, go to sleep to it, everything, and now I'm just doing the same thing, just with the added deluxe songs.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you,
What's
Uh,
your rating?
I don't remember what I last rated it. I'm pretty sure it was like an 8 or a 9 too, right? I would assume so.
Well, we never talked about it before, so this is where we're first saying it.
Wait, did
Yeah,
we
I
really
think
not talk about
we talked about
the
it off podcast, but never really
Because I
on
don't think this was
Oh.
out when we did podcast.
Oh,
Well,
okay. Then if I yeah, I guess okay. So for my I guess if I were to make an initial rating, I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8. And as of now, it'd probably be like a stone cold 8. Uh, Granted, the thing about Kid Laroi to me is like he's not someone that really needs to step out of his comfort zone, because I think the music that he makes is very he's already good at it. Like he already knows the craft behind the music he makes. But the fact that he doesn't step out of his comfort zone is a little thing that I don't know. I feel like in a deluxe edition, maybe you could try doing that once or twice. I think Pikachu might have been like the example of it, and it didn't really work out so well. Where he tries to do like the flex songs, but
Yeah. I feel
overall,
like he doesn't have the. I feel like he doesn't have the confidence for the flex songs yet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And
But
that's where a lot of the flex songs is like, you can say your shit and you can back it up. Where it's like Kid Laroi is just like, I don't think you're there, yeah, man.
I'm a 16-year-old boy from Australia, man.
This is
yeah,
like,
but
bro, you
as
gotta-
as far as it goes, yeah, I'm pretty stuck on 8. Like it's good. It's good.
All right.
yeah. Now we're gonna be moving on to the Joyner Lucas Evolution album.
Our boy.
Our boy.
Fucking man, dude. We waited a year for this fucking
So
album.
I think I want to say just real fast that Jordan, when we say our boy, and we say our boy in a couple people, like we said to Lil Tecca's our boy and so on, but Jordan Lucas was like the first artist that brought the three of us to start talking about music together consistently, way back like 3 years, 4 years ago, something like that.
He's the reason we're here right now.
Like
Literally
we've been
3 years ago.
yeah, because we've been friends for years, but we didn't talk about music with each other until Jordan Lucas became in our scopes. And since then, like we just been huge fans of him since before he was famous. We went and saw him in concert in LA. We fucking stood because there's no seats, and that fucker wasn't showing up to the concert. We stood for like 2 hours before he finally showed up. But we saw that
I
shit.
sat on the floor like consistently, man.
But we've
This
been a
motherfucker
fan
was
of
the
this
only
guy.
one.
We've been a fan of this guy for literally like a hot minute. So he's like actually the boy.
Yeah.
You
I
can
think
go ahead,
when-
Desmond. I have
when-
a lot to say too.
Yeah, when we started, like, it's just to add on, like, when we started, like, listening to this man, he had semi popped off because a lot of his songs started getting popular, like Happy Birthday and everything. But then this man hard popped off when he started doing the covers to like some of the songs, like Panda, like all the songs
The
back then,
remixes.
ZZ and all that shit, and like, and then he got into a rap battle with fucking Tory Lane, and that's just where rap battles show a lot of talent. And Tory Lanez was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." It's like it's something I never expected Tory to do, is like pop off on a rap song. But then like Joyner would just like walk up and be like, "All right, here you go, you little shit," slap real quick, and then just starts popping off. I'm just like starts spitting. I'm just like the fucking slap before the pop off. I'm just like
sweeping
God
over the
damn.
5-foot man, dude.
Like fucking just hardcore. And it was like such a back and forth because like Joyner won one, Tory won the next, then Corey went off again, and he like he's like, all right, you might have won that, and then just fucking Joyner walking in. I'm your fucking father, dude. Now go fucking suck it. So like,
And then
so
Tori
this is
still
like,
acted like he won, but you know.
yeah, and then just fucking Joyner just like walking away is like, I already fucking know I won. I don't need the recognition.
And then they did a song together,
yeah, and then
and it was a good song.
it was fucking nice.
The Suge remix, right?
Yeah,
the
and that was like a
remix.
year later after everything.
Yeah.
And then we got to see him in concert. That shit was fucking my first ever concert. So that shit was like hype. And then and that was coming off of his Suicide Hotline album. And then since then we were getting singles for ADHD, and when ADHD released, we were fucking like on it. I spammed that album for like a good like 6 months.
Yeah, same.
And then we were getting like small tidbits for Evolution. We got like 2 songs compared to like we were getting a single every couple of months for ADHD until we got the final thing. And then we just get a full album up to this point, and we're just like, God damn. And this one fluidly shows a lot of talent for what Joyner Lucas has done and how far he's become as an artist as well.
Yeah, Joyner Lucas has actually some like a very interesting growth in like what he from what he started doing to what he's doing now. Like as an artist, he's actually always been woke. He's very aware of the uh he's very aware of like what happens in the world and like uh
Social
the things that
dilemmas.
happen in between like certain people. That's why like the 509 album was such a serious album because like he touched up on a lot of things that people weren't willing to talk about, especially in music. And that's where he developed like a very unique style that people to this day know him for, which is like the talking like or like the conversational rap, where it's
Yeah,
like
the
two people
also
talking back and forth and he's speaking for them.
Yeah.
and,
Storytelling.
And
yeah,
yeah,
and while he's
storytelling. There
doing
you go.
it's while he's doing it, you're not just getting like a fast flow. You're getting the tidbit details that explain everything, and you can clearly understand what he's saying and where the story's heading.
Yeah, and it is definitely one of the things that like, or it's like the biggest thing that people like that he grew big for was just that. I'm not racist was like the big like show up song that's what made him big, and I remember at the concert he even specifically talked about it like he was like saying like that was the song that shot him up there.
Wait, hold up.
Because it was such a very detailed song and a very topical one for sure.
Yeah.
If you guys keep talking, I'll be right back. I gotta do something super fast.
Sure thing. But yeah, so back when we watched when we were in the concert, which was this is when I Love was the only song that had came out as a single. I believe in 2018 was the time we were at the concert, right? Yeah.
And this was the single for ADHD, which he had already said he was going to release another album after he had already released the Hotline number.
Yeah.
So
so this is just the first. This is like the first era of him getting big. Like this is, I Love was like a really huge hit when he brought it out. It's such a catchy song, such a hype song. He played it at the concert like 3 different times. It was definitely the good stuff. And honestly, like this is when he also at this exact concert too, he introduced this is the one in Los Angeles. I forgot the place it was called, but it was in Los Angeles in a pretty like medium-sized venue. And he introduced a artist that he signed, and his name was Elijah James. Which he does make a feature on his current or on the current new album that we're discussing, which is Evolution, and everybody disliked him and hated him. I'm not gonna lie. Joyner Lucas
at the time in 2018.
Yeah. This was when he was just first introduced. But
and he barely debated. Like it took him a year plus to debate as an artist under Joyner Lucas. And this was and the reason why it took so long is because Joyner hadn't yet developed his label, because he's independent. He's an independent artist who now owns his own label and who masters everything. And so he has this. And then at the time, Elijah James, he didn't he was singing a song, but he really wasn't singing a song. It was kind of like he was almost lip syncing, but you could like he was singing, but you could barely hear it. So you mostly heard the song, and I was just like, "Is he lip singing a song? Because that's all you could."
Yeah,
hear.
No one could actually like really hear his voice, and not even like the lyrics in the song in general. Like it was just mostly the what is it called? What is it, like melodies? I forgot.
Yeah, the melody was playing more over his voice.
And yeah, so a lot of people really, because this is someone that they had put on before to stall for time because he was so late. And once again, nobody knew who this guy was, and the crowd was like really upset when they brought him up because, like I said, it just seemed like he was lip singing like some random song, and nobody knew who he was. We looked him up in the middle of the concert and couldn't find him. Like I found him like on Spotify with like not even like an album or songs to his name.
There's nothing. It was literally just his name and his picture of his album, not even himself.
This man was like some SoundCloud rapper that just like we made a joke that they just brought him up from the back, like, "Hey, yo, can you sing a song?"
And then they claimed he was signed under Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
And like a year later, we were like, "This boy's actually signed under Joyner Lucas." What
Yeah,
the
we were
fuck?
like, "How did Joyner sign this guy?" But
And then
yeah,
we like looked at his original music, and he was just like, "All right, I can see why he did it, but I'm gonna give him time because that's what he needs." Yeah. And then he shows up on this album, and we're just like, "Yo, I."
Okay, sorry
So,
about
yeah.
that.
We were just talking about the Elijah James and when he showed up at the
Yeah, Dave and Enos.
2018, and we're just like, "What the fuck?"
We're just we're talking about the concert and how our history with Joyner Lucas as an artist in general.
Yeah, the Elijah James with the I'm Joyner Lucas's #1, and he was so bad. The song that him and Joyner made together wasn't bad at all. I actually like it, but at the time, the songs that he showed, we did not like it at all, and even more so because
Nobody did.
we were also angry that Joyner hasn't been there for 2 hours and he was supposed to be on. Which is like, this isn't what we fucking want.
Yeah.
Okay, but moving on to the actual album, this was definitely a lot different from ADHD, and it's more on top, more like on the levels of the 508 album. Like it's a very topical album. There's a lot more of the storytelling rap in it, and honestly, it's a little bit different than what he's been what he's normally does. Like he's changed it. There's a lot of different songs in there that aren't like what we would hear on a consistent basis from him.
Like Zim Zima. Zim Zima is pretty fucking different for him.
Yeah.
That was pretty good though. I still like the song. I think what so I think before we talk about like the songs themselves, the skits are incredibly well put together.
They're also so fucking funny, dude. They remind me of like the older Eminem skits, away from like the killing and drugs, but in the comedic sense, of just like, and what do we do to snitches? Snitches get snitches. And just
so like in this album, the context in some of the songs, he's talking about like how relationships are between mostly people of color, and which portrays on, because Joyner's black, he's talking more about the black point of view and how people view each other in that kind of sense. And so like one of the songs is called Snitches, but you can't, as a kid you're not called a snitch, it's called tattletelling. So he talks about that, and then he talks about drugs, and then he's like talking from a point of view from a teacher's perspective and what you do in that sense. And so like the skits before you start the album, it already said to you like you're already getting like what the context is to this album that you're listening to. So I think that itself was really good.
Yeah, like I said, and all of it was cool too, because all of the skits connected to each other, because it was all just him talking to his like kindergarten teacher as a kindergartner, and then it would transition into the song.
Yeah,
and just he's really gotten better, and it's crazy because like we've literally seen this not from the beginning, but from before he was popular to now, and his progression has been actually crazy.
Yeah. What's our time breaks, by the way?
Oh, we're at 29 right now.
Okay, so we have time. Evolution. I just had to bring up the list real quick.
Yeah.
So with minus the skits, you get 3 skits, and then you get 10 songs, and each of the skits are labeled after like the first song, and then there's like the middle, and then you get the ending. So you already get like a basis of this is already a book almost of what he's going through, and like a lot of the what the first songs are. So of course the first song, which is the title of the album, it's Evolution, and this one, and he's talking more about like what he's doing, where he's going. And so like the first thing that you learn is that he's talking about his kid. He has a kid. He's talking about his kid, and he's talking about his like relationship with his father and what he didn't receive as a kid, and so he wants to raise that bar for his child. And I think with a lot of the, you get so much context in just like a 2.5 minute song, and it's insane like what he does, and like from referencing from the 508 album, you can already tell that the style he's is already there. Like you get so much context and so much important emotion in this, and it's like incredibly insane.
It starts off immediately good too. Like the intro skit ends, and then it's just like I want to expand my mind immediately.
Yeah,
It just
and
immediately kicks off.
well, before we go further into the songs, what was you guys' initial thought? Because I know we've all listened to it more than once for the album.
I think Mario should go first.
I guess I'll go first. I've actually listened to this album like a lot. Um, I didn't really talk about it that much because I honestly didn't really have that strong of opinion on it. My initial thoughts on it, with the first time hearing it, and before the album actually dropped, was it was very sudden, so I wasn't really prepared to have it just dropped out of nowhere because he released like the one or two songs on YouTube and then he just dropped the whole album anyways.
He did.
And the
was
one
at
or
work
two
when he
songs,
dropped.
which was Tattletale, and then something I don't remember what the second song
Snitch.
was.
Well, Snitch is the title.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Snitch was one song, and then he
And
released
then,
like something else,
Uh,
and then it was the whole album. But
I think it was.
it was the song with Elijah
oh.
James, wasn't it?
No. It was Snitch and Fall Slowly. It was the with the girl.
Ashanti,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so those first two songs, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these kind of albums again, like the 509 one, and I was like, I didn't really know what to expect because like just coming from the ADHD album, like there's a lot of very high tempo songs, very hypey type of songs. With like a 509 album, I was expecting more of like like the downplay kind of thing, which was honestly this album. But at the same time, when I finally finished the album, I had very mixed feelings on it because like I didn't necessarily think it was bad. Or I mean, like I didn't think it was like any worse than any of his other albums at all. But I felt not as hypey about them just because of the way the songs are arranged. But the more I listened to the album, it started to dawn on me like how good the messages that he was trying to speak and like how good the songs really were.
Yeah.
But I was very blindsided by the ADHD album because that album just had so many hype songs, so many hype features. And I felt a little what's the word for it? Like spoiled from it.
Yeah.
But this album is like this one's really really good when you get down to like the grit of it, when you start to like just hear everything he's talking about.
Yeah. I think with this album, I think coming from ADHD, I didn't know what to expect because he had given some context like what ADHD was besides just like hitting a range of like heightness to like low, and then like also he had a bunch of features on ADHD, and with this one, you have like 3 to 4 songs that only have a couple features, where his last album or ADHD had like more than like half, and I think with this, you get like so much context and so much emotion from each of the songs, and it's always, he's not pushing like a certain narrative, he's pushing like, this is the story, this is what's going on, this is where I've come from, and this is what's going to keep happening, and I'm never going to go back to like what I've done, and I'm always going to look back at that past with fondness, but I'm also not going to look at it just through like rose colored glasses. I'm gonna keep evolving and changing, and so that's what my first initial kind of like playthrough was, and so I was really enjoying it. And not to like take credit away or take like away from the album, but it definitely had for me like a lot of hypeness still, but nothing like, it doesn't compare like to ADHD. as much as like as you kind of get, because like ADHD was hype, like
We
high,
waited
like
2
they had
years.
for
Yeah.
ADHD, and it was like on such a level of hype for each song. It's like insane. And then
Yeah,
you
and
kind of
he
move
released every song like each song like in the time intervals in between each song was just like he just kept feeding us into it more, and it when it officially just dropped, it was just like, oh man, the pieces are all here, guys.
and it was a good ass ride, dude. Like, it was a
And before I have Riggs talk, I definitely think if we were to compare this to any album, it would have to be the 509 album because it's such on the
Oh,
same
definitely, yeah.
level of
Yeah.
what they're trying to. Because the ADHD album, there's a lot of he does do a couple of songs that are like the messages and what he like the very topical stuff, but a lot of the songs is just like hype flexing with like and with like features like like ISIS, um, ISIS, the war, like a lot of breakup stuff, but they're like a lot more fast paced. This album's a lot more slower, with like a very like mellow and like deep kind of beat on every other song. Same thing
Yeah.
around the lines as the 508 album.
Yeah.
But yeah, Riggs, want to give us that
So,
opinion?
yeah, I guess I can. But album overall, I think was really good. It did have to grow on me for a bit because even though I don't know for sure, but I feel like from whenever I talked about it before it dropped that I was the one who was keeping up with when it was gonna drop more.
Mm-hmm.
And even with me doing that, there still wasn't a whole lot of like hype for it. Away from he like dropped the Facebook message that was like this is gonna be more tailored towards my older fans, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh okay, so, shit, that's me. But when the album dropped, there was just some. It was like just a bad mood day or some shit. Like I just didn't feel it the first day, and I had to hear it for like 4 or 5 days in a row before I finally was like, okay, like Evolution
I,
coming in was good. On this way was good. Things I've seen where he was just going off. That
we'll talk
song was
about
just
that.
crazy.
That song we're gonna have to talk about like
Uh,
by itself.
Then Zim Zima was just such a different style and it pops off, man. Honestly, I fucking was saying Zim Zima in my head like every 2 seconds for like a week. Fucking, and then Snitch, dude. We saw the video like I'm not on podcast, but like the three of us we saw the video together, and that
Yeah.
video was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Snitch was so
uh,
good. The entire album was honestly just. It's just Joyner. The only complaint I have about the album is the fucking picture, dude. It's just the Photoshop picture of his son's face on his body, and it just looks awkward as hell.
yeah.
but for the most part, I fucking this is Joyner, and this is definitely comparable to the 508 album because,
Yeah.
like I said, like the ADHD album, there was just too much hype for it. There's no way that something that was done in such short notice for the fans, like I'm sure he's been working on it for a while, but this is short notice for us, you know? Like there was no
Yeah.
real word on it or anything,
Yeah.
and I don't think it was ever a chance that it could live up to the hype that ADHD had going up, which is another reason why this one was harder to get to feel into, just because, like Mario said, I was just fucking spoiled, dude. I was fucking so spoiled from the last album, all the hype, everything that went into it, all the times that
Mhm.
we as a group just bopped to fucking I Love and everything else now.
Our most played song was "I Love" and fucking ISIS,
Yeah, dude.
and
Yeah.
then what else was the other one
So
that we
like,
played a lot? Oh,
uh,
it was fucking um Revenge that we played a lot too.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh god. What a freaking album.
But because of that, like I said, it took away from the album a little bit. But then once you get past the
you
spoiledness
have
that we have for the
to
last one.
you have to remember that mainstream Joyner isn't the real Joyner. That's the shit he does because it's mainstream. You have to remember
Yeah.
the lyrical Joyner. I think this album also takes away some elements from his original album, Along Came Joyner. That's the first album that I heard from Joyner. Back in 2016. and then I was listening to like singles like Happy Birthday and everything between that. But I didn't know
Yeah.
like who he was. So but then 508 happened and that shit was insane.
Because we all
That's the
found
album
them
with
through the
my
John
boy Ross
Cappuccino.
Cappuccini.
Yeah. We all found them
Yeah.
way back when from that. We just didn't know who Joyner was. We just knew him from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I listened to his original album when it first came out. I just didn't know who.
Yeah.
But I think
That's what I'm saying.
that songs like Zimma, Straight Like That, and I think a little bit of The Problem. There's some elements that take away from the original album that he just brings into it. And it wasn't too much as a storytelling, but just like the way he speaks on those, I think that brings a lot of elements from that. So that was like really cool to hear.
The only thing I didn't really get that I wanted was the like what was that song? Was it off 508? Was it off of Along Came Joyner, the Heartbeat or Heart something? Where there's like in the chorus, he literally just raps at like 1,000 words a second.
I think that was 508, but I would have to go back and listen
essentially
again.
what I'm saying is that I really wanted a song like he kind of did it in the things I've seen, but it was more of in a like storytelling way, so it wasn't exactly the same because it wasn't no real like super high wordplay. But I really wanted a fast like a lyrical Joyner song. That's the only thing that left me wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. We do like fast rap Joyner.
Yeah, it's
Fast
it's
rap
just like
speed.
it's one thing to do fast rap. It's another for it to be good. It's another for it to be lyrical, and then it's another for it to be all that, and you can actually understand what they're saying.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
to get into the songs now, because we have time, and then there's actually like a lot to digest and break down or dissect and break down with this. So, like we already talked about evolution and like what he's going through and what he wants for his son. But now we have the two songs that connect really well with each other is On This Way and Things I've Seen.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into it because they all have such a different story to them.
Oh, On This Way's the one with the two features, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know who the game is, but man, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just
so how like so just to like how you get introduced into the song is you're getting this how do you say it to the it's like it starts off with like like how you get at like a church the singing.
Yeah.
You get kind of like
choir.
that kind of vibe. Yeah, the choir. You get the choir vibe and you're getting introduced to it, and then the beat like slowly fades in, and then as soon as you start hearing the beat, that's when Joyner chimes in. It's slow, but he's taking you through like a wave of emotion that he's talking you to, and he's like talking about like these certain things with like his mom, his son, his past, and you're like understanding what's going on, and and then the game comes in, and then Lila comes in at the end. I'm just like, yo. And throughout the whole thing, the thing that stays like consistent was just the choir singing. It's in between. You're understanding who's coming in and who's coming out, and what's happening in the story.
Yeah.
Mario, you want to put an input?
We're still on the topic of On This Way, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. My roommate knocked on the door. Moving on from what you're talking about, genuinely, the start of the song, it definitely immerses you into what, like, how do I put it? The first like few lyrics that they talk about, like what is it? What is the exact lyrics? It's like I've been like down in like my hardest times or something like that. It's like something about hardest times. Yeah, like as soon as you hear those few words, like you know that this song is like it's going somewhere. you're not you're taking a ride with this song and not a good one.
It's Hardest Days. His Hardest Days.
Hardest Days, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you open a song like that with like the God, why do I keep forgetting the name for like background music or like melody? What is the name for it? Either way, when you introduce a song with that kind of beat and like that kind of like
the choir kind of singing.
no, it's not choir. It's just like another word for melody, but
No.
yeah, when you introduce like the beat and like the melody, like there's just like the slow, and then the first words you hear is just like I've been through like my hardest, or like I'm going through my hardest days, or like whatever. It's like the story, the telling there is like it's just incredibly I mean, you're gonna feel sad. And throughout the whole song, the message that he talks about talking about like his like in the 508 album, he talks about his bad times. And in general, I think I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I can't pick up from where I left off. My brain just like destroyed itself. Here, can you pick up for me, Riggs?
Yeah, I can pick up.
Yeah, thank you.
On This Way, it was just, I don't know how to explain. The album itself, just every song flew into each other very perfectly. And then the song that would then flow perfectly into the next skit, which the skit would then flow perfectly into the next thing. Because the skits weren't there just to like move into the next song. It was because the skits perfectly played the part of changing the tone of the album entirely. Because every time there was a skit, the album tone changed immediately after. Yeah. And it did it so that's the biggest strength that this album in particular has, is that it is its entire fluidity of it all, where nothing seemed out of place. There wasn't just a sudden change of this song's sad, the next song is up and hypey. It's everything flowed in the perfect direction, where when they did change the tone, it didn't happen in a rough or rough way. And the same thing goes for the two songs that clearly connected the most, which is On This Way to Things I've Seen, because it goes from talking to about your hardest days and all these issues that he's had. And the game features, I don't know who the brother is, but he popped off, man. It was good. Yeah. But
okay, I can re-pick up when you're done, by the way.
Okay, well, pick up now, because I was about to transition into the things I've seen.
Oh, okay. So I finally, because I what I was gonna say, the topic of BLM in current today's time, that's the way he portrays it in his music, just like a lot of other artists, it's like it's very deep. He specifically always has a good way of portraying the message, and when it transitions into the next song, Things I've Seen, it definitely tells you, I mean, him being a black man too, like how much he really does care about what's going on right now, because it is, like I said, we've talked about it before in another podcast, it is a very serious time with BLM running, with BLM like being like a really big cause right now. And I really do like the way he portrays that in On This Way, and then into Things I've Seen, because in Things I've Seen, it's a lot more aggressive in how he portrays it, whereas in On This Way it's a lot more slower pace. And then as soon as you move into Things I've Seen, he's like it's like it feels like it's all up in your face kind of thing.
Yeah, which is what the message was supposed to be about.
Yeah,
because nobody pays attention to these kinds of things.
Yeah,
because in the face, you're not gonna be able to like avoid your eyes from looking from it. You're always gonna be like, as soon as it's in your face, you're straight up looking at it. This is how it is. So, and then with the way it transitions, because he's talking about himself, and then throughout the song, it's switching from himself to now it's everybody, and everybody's sharing their experience, like with the game, and then the other feature, he's switching it, and he's talking about theirs, and then I think with the final line, I think it ends when it goes into Things I've Seen. It just like it's an instant, yo, this is how it is. And then with things I've seen, that song was incredible. Because it's not just like an upbeat kind of song, it's the mid tempo, this is what needs to change, this is what's happening. So we're gonna get into that. I don't know if you guys wanted to play that song or not.
I do want to say we just reached 50 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I do want to bring up one big thing though about things I've seen is that so it clearly, as considering from what we said from the other song, it connects to the whole the Black Lives Matter movement, just everything in general of the issues that African Americans in today's society in America deal with. But the one thing that I've noticed is that it really shows with this artist in particular. Like, I'm not speaking for every artist that makes a song in pro of the Black Lives Matter movement, but with Joyner in particular, he is, even though clearly in his actual life he is biased towards his side, because you should be, but in his music he always is does very well at not being biased. He's able to play both sides of it, and he does it even in this song, where this song he constantly is talking about over and over again, especially when it comes to black women, of the issues that they deal with in society. But then he also throws it back onto his own culture and his own people, saying that it's not just them too. We also make these problems for ourselves. It's everybody has to pick this stuff up. We all have to make it better. Because he talks about it here that it starts off with the society issues of that they deal with, and then it moves into into a small portion of them of black men and black women working together, but then it moves into a smaller portion of showing that that's that at times the black women or the black men, they just straight up don't appreciate each other, and they show it by doing this or that. It's so hard for anybody who's against this type of movement to actually be against Joyner in specific, because if you are, you just straight up are showing that you don't pay attention, that you're not actually hearing the guy, because he legitimately plays both sides of the argument.
Yeah, I think with this one, he also, you're also you're getting a lot of information at the same time, because like Rick said, it's not just about the problems that other people make for us; it's the problem we also make for ourselves. But I think the biggest thing he reiterates in this song is, in order to break that cycle, you need to start accepting, with like other people and like love into your heart with certain things. Like the lyric for this song is black women, all they need is black love. But you not just like saying it's just black love itself, but more so that you have to love yourself in order to love others. That's the main thing I got from this point of the song. Not just for black people just loving other black people, it's also just to destroy and desensitize hate. You have to destroy it with the number one thing that's always been preached by almost everybody, but not accepted by everybody, is just love.
Yep. Yeah, this segregation sucks, bro.
Yeah. I feel so like I don't know the proper wording, but like it obviously hits different for somebody that's in my perspective than it does for you guys who are actually African American, and I'm just I don't want to actually use the terminology because it sounds weird and cringe, but like ally, fucking. But exactly.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
like
cringe, bro.
exactly, that's what I said.
That's not being a true person of color.
Yeah, like I'm not like I
Oh.
am Mexican, but I'm only half. The other half of me is I'm white, and so like it really just comes down to like for me, whenever I hear songs like this, I'm trying to understand the message, and I legitimately have to hear it like when on this way and things I've seen. I heard it, I think like 5 times on repeat just to make sure that I can understand exactly what is trying to be said. Because I have my own struggles. I've struggles with me being Mexican and with me being white, because not good enough for either side. But it's completely different when you're looking into the struggles of another race, which also just makes it dumb and specific because there shouldn't be any differences.
Yeah. And I think this one he highlights like I think definitely in African American culture, women definitely get it the hardest because uh
Yeah.
a lot of like not just like African American families, but like a lot of other families, like traditional families, like Mexican, Asian. The number one person you look to in the family is mostly your mother. Um, you look for that for the kindness and love you would receive from like other people, and that's like the first thing you're gonna get shown is womanly love from your mom. That's definitely in my case. I didn't have it. I didn't grow up with a dad. My mom stepped up to that plate, both parents, raising me, uh, raised me with extreme love and showing me how I should treat others. And you know, there are certain things now where I definitely look at how I grew up to how I view other people, but also at the same time to be always accepting, even if they're different.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the album just touching up on these topics, the BLM, his story and stuff involving his like son. Um, it's just once again, it just shows that he is like just aware of these topics that no one really wants to talk about and no one wants to put music out for, and that truly is what makes Johnny Lucas like an artist of today's time. It's something that like that he excels in, and everything that like his fans are definitely there for that. Like they know that he makes this type of music and why he makes them, because he's a very he's just a very aware person, like very woke as they would call it.
He wants things to be better.
He really does want things to be better, and he's never gonna stop making this kind of music because this is truly his style down to the bone. This is something that he specifically excels the best at.
Yeah,
And yeah, this album just proves more and more that that this is truly his type of music, because even when you listen to songs like these, most people, you know, like, oh, I don't want to listen to this kind of music in a car, you know, like this kind of these kind of songs like would like tear down the mood and stuff like that. But like listening to these songs with like people and groups, it really does like it really opens your eyes to discussion about like what he's thinking about, and like then you start discussing about like the actual world problems, and that's what makes this type of music like so damn good to listen to.
We
yeah,
got a playlist of 1,225 songs of everything from hype to this. Like,
Yeah,
and we can speak from because of experience through that playlist that it really doesn't change the mood at all. The only way it could
yeah.
change the mood really is if you just didn't agree with one of the messages in one of the songs.
I think one of the biggest things too is like we can talk about the ADHD album. Like we can listen to one song and then like, you know, be like, oh damn dude, this song was like hype the way he spits the beat. But then like if we listen to like if we listen to like when we listen to Snitch together, we're dissecting like everything that he said, like everything that he
Yeah.
talked about, the stories that he's telling. Like it's such a different vibe.
yeah.
Were we
It's good
watching the
shit,
video?
man.
Make sure we picked up everything.
Yeah,
We stopped so many times and like cut
yeah,
everything. It was pretty good. And then like these are just the first three songs of the album, by the way. And like you get so much information already, and you're already being like it's thrown in your face, but he's like he'll throw it in your face and then he'll explain why I threw it in your face. And this is what needs to happen. But also at the same time he's still going through his development like at this time. So then you get to like Zim Zima, which is the next song on the album. You know, he's talking about, oh yeah, I made it now, but then I'm still gonna be talking about my struggles. But somebody bring me a beamer. So that
Zim
was a good
Zima
ass.
goes with the Beamer, bitch. I want the
Yeah.
Rari.
yeah. Rim is like the only other song in this album that he's like that it's his flex song in the album.
Yeah.
And in the album of Sad, there's the one Flex song.
It's gotta be there, though. It has to, like, actually.
Wait, what?
It has to be there. Actually.
Oh
That
yeah,
actually-
no, guaranteed. I
It
agree.
brings together everything so well from the first.
It does,
songs.
yeah. Especially after like the first couple, the first 3 songs. When you just jump into that, it's just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, this is where we pop off, and then it goes into the Tattletale skit. That skit
God, I love that
fucking
skit.
killed me, dude.
Snitches get stitches.
Like, it's worse than what Joyner did. What do you mean? He tattletaled. What do snitches get? They get stitches. Wait, these are children. But they're not. And then you get straight, and then from the tattletale skit, you go straight into snitch.
Yeah, like I said, man, those skits are Eminem influence. You can't convince me otherwise.
They are. And like, going back to the ADHD album, we're gonna keep referencing the ADHD album a lot because it was such a high point.
It's just too good.
Yeah, from going from
all of his albums are gonna be taken accounted for, but the ADHD one's just gonna keep coming back up.
Yeah.
From the skits, from like because in his ADHD album he was being congratulated by a bunch of like bigger names in the celebrity world, but then you're going from that to this to like I keep forgetting the word for it, but you're going from like a really big high from big celebrity names being on your album to this to like understanding like this is the world that they live in, that most celebrities have lived in. So now you're understanding that like you're going from Tattletale's which I don't know if he was, but and then you go to Snitch. It's like, yo, lost a little bit of train of thought there.
Joyner, man, he always has a very different style in every album. Like he has many different things that he likes to try from, like I said, from the Along Comes Joyner, where it was like his first real big step into this whole music thing, that wasn't just mixtapes. And then the 508 came out, and then he had like those like 3 or 4 songs in the Stranger Things album with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And then the ADHD came out, and now it's this album. Just I don't know any other way to describe Joyner Lucas away from just that. This guy, man, he'll take you on a ride. You're up and down in your feelings, but when you're just following this guy's career like we have for like the last 3-4 years, it's nothing but up. This guy just continues to only get better. He continues to break all the expectations that we currently have for him. Just this guy is just learning, and he's getting respect for it too. When you get people's names throwing it out there, like Busta Rhymes, Eminem, and just so many big names out there saying that you got to watch out for this Joyner kid, bro. Like this kid, he's what's up next.
Not even in just music. He like in the last one he had fucking Kevin Hart. He had fucking Chris Rock on it, and like a bunch of influential people.
Let's literally not forget that he made a song dedicated to Will Smith, then proceeded to have Will Smith rap on the same beat.
Yeah.
like he literally said,
his idol.
I want to say something about this idol before he disappears, and then he got the idol to sing or to do the song pretty much with them. It's insane.
Yeah.
God, I love this guy.
The dude makes moves without even trying to make the moves. Like, this boy's playing chess.
He's just smart.
Playing checkers.
Yeah.
It's then you come on to Snitch, which is arguably such a more of a visual kind of song than it is a just song by itself, because the visuals add so much depth to the song. It's insane. I really want to play the music video, but I think for right now we're gonna
we are at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
It's okay. No, we're gonna keep going. It doesn't matter. This is Joyner Lucas, man. But with the Snitch song, we gotta like skim through it to understand where.
Well, it's like it just goes back and forth between him playing both sides.
And his conscience.
Yeah, him and his conscience go on both sides.
What you should be doing right, and if you should be doing this at all.
It's the angel and devil on your shoulder conversation that both of them trying to convince you what to do. And the
Yeah.
good part is, which like I said, he doesn't play any bias. You literally can't tell away from what your own internal like moral values are. Away from what you decide. There's nothing that he puts in there that actually shows which one is the good one or bad one.
So the music video starts off with somebody getting caught for doing drugs, and he's getting interrogated, and so now you have the conscious decision: should I snitch on these people? And as he does it, people get arrested and people are getting targeted. He gets out, gets in somebody's car, he's being driven away, and then he gets killed. But then it's an immediately, this is a decision, so it flashes back. So this is what he's thinking about, and he in the end doesn't decide to snitch. But every small decision, which is mainly the song's premise, any and every small decision you make can lead you to either a road to your end or a road that you can still continue on, and mostly with snitch.
Yeah, it's really crazy because this
And
guy's storytelling is on a different level. The fact that he can play both sides of an argument, and I left wondering which side that he's on.
I'm
But
still thoroughly convinced this song is for 6ix9ine, dude.
no, I was about to say like I don't understand. I don't understand how people are saying that it's like a 6ix9ine diss. Like it's like nah.
It's not a diss. It's just
Not a
like
diss,
literally the
no.
decisions this guy made. That's literally what it feels like. It literally just it's talking about the situation, like should he snitch or not? And like
It's
he
more for
snitched.
Bobby Shmurda than it is for and it's not because Bobby
Yeah,
Shmurda snitched or anything. It's literally like saying like free Bobby Shmurda in the song.
yeah. But it's just funny because you could just relate to that, like kind of situations like that where that happened like what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Dude, it
But yeah,
happened this
he's
year
in
that
the
he got
song.
out.
He's
Well, no, I mean like he
uh
got out this year, but like the situation he.
It was just last year.
oh yeah, the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the juggling of the decisions. I mean, he even goes in pretty hard in depth of what he's of what like the decision making is. Like he's like, oh, if I snitch, they'll give me less time, and I won't get as punished. But what's gonna happen if I do? If I walk out there, didn't the song even mention of the guy having like a family too?
I think so. I think it was like one line though.
It mentioned that like the only
Oh no! He
people that you
became.
talk
Oh,
to is your mother if you're
yeah,
close.
yeah.
That,
You would
do
only
you
be
think
able to talk to
you
your
Oh,
think
I
those
see, I
family.
see.
boys are your family? You think those boys are your family, but they are going to be ghosts once you're in jail?
Yeah, there you
That
go.
Yeah, and like uh it's definitely the way, yeah, like once again, it's just the way he like portrays it. It's so accurate to what like people's actual like conscious decisions would be during like that kind of situation. Um and in just both worlds are all pretty bad no matter how you see it. Like you should have just not done the crime in the first place.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the whole point, really. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
is that you did
No
this, so
matter
no
what, you
matter what,
lose.
you have a bad reputation, or you lose your life.
yeah. Because Joyner says a lot in this album. If he literally was like, if I wasn't a rapper, and he'd be in jail or dead.
Yeah.
It's insane. So then you have Straight Like That. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really listen to that song a whole lot.
I'm not gonna lie. So I've heard the whole album, but it was definitely after Snitch that I've heard the least. And it's not because any of the
Yeah,
songs are bad. It was just that this album was just one of those albums that I didn't want to hear unless I started from the beginning. So I would start from the beginning, and by the time I would like need to do something else and turn off the music was around the time that Snitch ended. So it was like nothing against the other songs. That's just kind of
yeah.
how it was.
I think Straight Like That was more for like a straight. It was definitely like straightforward, more.
I was
I
straight.
think if you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, then don't. Because now that I made it big, you want to fuck with me. You shouldn't do that. I'm just like, all right. That's what I kind of got most from the like downplayed version of the song. But I think Mario had probably has more of an opinion on that.
Are we talking about Straight Like That or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. That's I'm not even kidding. That's actually my favorite song in the album.
Mm.
It's very reminiscent of God, I'm gonna keep coming back to ADHD. It reminds me of Still Can't Love, like in terms of the tempo. It's like very fast paced, but it's talking about like a little bit like sadder undertones. Um and he is repeating the same line a lot, but
Straight like that.
yeah. But you know, he's talking about a lot of like there's like a mix of different things. There's like relationship. Um there's struggle. It's just like it's literally like a mix of like all types of terrible things. And the way it comes out with like the like jazz like beat, or like not jazz beat, but like the what is the instrument called?
With the sex one?
The sax. Yeah, the
Oh,
saxophone.
right.
And he's just like fast paced rapping, but these are all like deep struggle topics, or multiple struggle topics. It's uh yeah, I don't have much to say other than it is my favorite song. the I can't really account really for what he's trying to like specifically say, because I feel like the if the if you listen to the song multiple times, it's just various types of struggles. Um and I don't think the song really does have like, well, to me anyways, it doesn't have like a tone to it. Like there's nothing specific topic that's except for it. But I mean, that's just the way that I've heard it. I could be wrong, and something that I've missed.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely feel that, because like for me, that's what I took mostly away from the song, was it's like,
Mhm.
if you fuck with me, you fuck with me from the beginning, but if you're trying to fuck with me because I made it big, just don't bother.
Mhm.
That was mostly like that. Just keep it straight. It's pretty much. It actually just reminds me of like keep it 100. I was like, yeah,
Keep it 100.
yeah.
It's another
That's
good
kind
one.
of how.
Dude, I just
That's
fucking
what
love Joyner, man.
that's mostly like the vibe I got from the from the thing. But like keep it 100 was way more intricate song.
Nice
So
Keep it
chain.
100,
Nice chain.
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, so I'm just a fucking fan of Joyner, dude. I don't know what else to say, man. This boy's lit. Y'all gotta hear him. If you don't, you're missing out. And I don't mean like, oh, you're missing out. I mean like, you're fucking missing out. You have no. If you're a fan of rap, there is no excuse for you not be writing this man.
Yeah. Then you have the song "Fall Slowly." That one's just blatant. It's a back and forth abusive relationship with Joyner and his
Fucking
significant
hurts.
other. Yeah. It's definitely a hard hitting slow song. Because he's
Yeah,
always
falling slowly. Fuck.
because he goes into depth and like what I do to hurt you and then what you do to hurt me. And it's always a back and
Mhm.
forth, and it's always like a one up. But then the inevitable thing is they always get back together because it's more of a, I guess, kind of lust more than love kind of thing.
Well,
But
no, the way I took from it is that it wasn't less more than love. It was the fact that they are all each other actually know. So they keep going back to each other just because they're
yeah,
scared
there we go.
to try something
That's a
new.
way better. Yeah. So um, it's a, I think the definitely the music video hits on it pretty hard. Um, it's just
I
it's
cried.
literally, yeah, it's a pretty hard hitting song, but I can't relate to it too much. Um, in terms of like, I don't do long lasting relationships anyways. uh,
No,
but it's definitely a huge if you ever have been or currently are in a abusive relationship, this song will like definitely show you that you're not the only one that's going through it.
and there's always a way out. This song kind of puts that there isn't one, but there is always a way out of an
Yeah,
abusive relationship. Just sometimes it's not easy, and that's what this song really showed us, that it's not easy. They
it's
keep
never
going back.
easy for that.
Yeah, I
Isn't-
like the way it shows the back and forth. Like I think that's another thing about those type of relationships that the way that a lot of people don't like notice, especially the ones that are in it, and it's just the ones oh what the hell? Sorry.
Yeah.
Something like blew up in my ears. uh it's like the yeah, when people are like on and off in these relationships, especially like these abusive ones where they're like forcing themselves to go back because they like solely rely on that person. um like that shows like the toxicity in that, and I like how he touches up on that too, where he's like, um even when I leave, like you keep chasing after me and stuff like that. It just shows like the back and forth and how these things end up being the way they are because of like people's mentality. And yeah, I like the song a lot for that in that specific regard.
Shanti's parts in the song are really super well done.
Got good vocals, man.
The vocals for the song are fucking amazing. I think there's like
Was
one
it?
song
Didn't she do
definitely.
another song with Joyner Lucas?
Yeah, I forget which one.
I'll look it up right now.
Was it Frozen?
I think. Oh yeah, it was Frozen.
Was it Frozen?
There it is. Yeah,
I
it should have been
actually don't know,
Frozen.
but I'm pretty sure it was, right.
I swear it has to be her.
Let me check. I feel like it was too, because it's the only one I can think with like a female singer, but I could be wrong.
I have to go through. He doesn't say on the album. I think it's her vocals though.
Oh, I know it's not her. That's someone named Jade Nova.
Kiss and
Sad.
Makeup.
Oh, maybe I was just wrong. Yeah, I guess he hasn't done.
Yeah, so that's probably his first one then. But it definitely sounds similar.
How did he even get Ashanti to be on his album?
I mean,
question.
actually, like
That's the bigger question.
He's good friends. He's good friends with Rihanna. So realistically, I'm pretty sure Rihanna can give him any amount of hookups.
That's right.
Dude,
Probably.
Ashanti is
Top tier.
there's a specific song I love with her with Ja Rule.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
a
like
fucking
it's like
name.
really.
I already know.
Ja Rule.
Yeah, you know Ja Rule, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He's the fucking one that was literally killed by Eminem.
Yeah, dude.
And 50.
I forgot 50 Cent killed Jaro.
Dude, really off topic, but there's a fucking concert. 50 Cent bought the entire first 4 rows of Ja Rule's concert just so nobody could sit there. And he'd have to deal with that. 50 Cent's an asshole. But yeah, I'm not finding any song with any other song with Ashanti and Joyner.
Mm.
But yeah, dude, I don't even.
Oh man,
know.
I just found the song that he did too.
What?
Huh?
It's Mesmerize.
So then,
Yeah.
so now that we've talked about Fall Slowly, we have the last 3 songs. The
Fucking
Problem,
Father's Day, dude.
Legend, and then there's a skit for the last song, which is called Like a River, and that's featuring Elijah James from what we talked about earlier. So the problem is more of a song about Joyner. It's a very high tempo song, but you can tell that what he's mostly talking about is like I think it's more of his relationship with a lot of I guess with other women. How he has his main girl, but then there's all these other chicks, and that he's always going to be, always wanting to go back to his old ways of like screwing around and shit.
Which is another song off of 508, wasn't it? Where he's mad that he fucks so many girls and he chops off his dick because he got an STD.
Yeah. While having a girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
But he also talks about like how he wish he could give her more of who he is and what she wants because he wants to please her. But then he also has like an issue where he always wants and is hungry for more than what he has.
I want to please you, but I also want to please everybody.
Yeah. And then, I just want to be fucking late and shit. So that's like his main thing. But then he's always talking about like whenever he falls, she's there down to pick him up, but then he'll always like end up walking away. And so like his main issue is like just having like a full on commitment.
Makes sense that him and Eminem are friends. They have the same girl problems.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
always wanting more than he should. That's just like more of the tidbit from what I've gotten for the song, because like also like Riggs, I didn't really listen to a whole lot of the second part of the album except for that Like a River song, because I can somewhat relate to that song.
All I know is Rick Ross is big boy.
You you're pretty spot on with the problem. It's mainly just talking about um the everything that his girl is willing to do for him, but him struggling with the fact that he can't really do the same back kind of thing. And it's pretty much like, like she like, I'm trying to remember like the lyrics of the song, but a lot of it is just like, a lot of it's like, he's always busy, he's always like, she never asks for like money or anything, and it's like she's like just like a very um I don't want to say low maintenance. That's terrible.
Her being
That's a terrible word for that.
Her
But
being more
she's
than a gold digger, like
yeah, she's just a good person.
yeah.
And
then
he's not, and he's not able to like keep up with like what she's able to do for him, kind of thing.
Low maintenance.
Yeah, don't reiterate that. That was a terrible. Terrible way to put that.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, because as a celebrity, you have to give, or more as like a artist in general, or I actually just anybody in the entertainment kind of world, you have to put in more hours than the, I guess, average person, because you have to maintain a certain amount of relevance while also doing in this multiple work kind of work, because you could be stretched thin, like you can be doing your album, but then you can be doing like a bunch of business deals with a lot of other things in between, and so you can get stressed out and stuff. And then he's all over the place, because I'm pretty sure he does a lot more things, and then when he falls, and his girl's there to pick him back up, but she'll never be able to give her the same emotional support that she gives him. That's mostly from what I get from the song. And she doesn't ask for, like, she's not like these other, she's really not like these other girls where she doesn't ask for money. She's there for him, and you can't do this, you can't do this. That's where a lot of the song hits, but he's trying to change that, and that's why he calls himself the problem, and he wants to find the solution.
All I'm saying is, man, is that this is the third album now of Joyner being a dick to his girl.
But he's being super transparent.
I understand that he's like trying to change, but like there's been a lot of time in those 3 albums, my dude.
I mean, the first one was blatant. Like, I think with the first one, which is the Along Came Joyner, you can definitely tell.
Yeah.
He was just in his hoe phase, and then like 508 came around. He was just like, I'm in my feelings kind of phase, and then doing like a bunch of shit.
Not in my hoe phase.
trying to get to like the position he wants, but more so he wants that independence from the relationship. So he wasn't really about it, and now he's like, now that he's like trying to lock himself down, he's like, he sees the problem. Granted, you're right, but fuck you.
Like the first one was, him, you're gambling all our money away. You're fucking all these other bitches, and then you cut off your own dick.
Did hop on dick. Fucking me.
But then
such a good song.
But then we come into to Legend with Legends. Big Boy.
Rick Ross.
Dude, I love Rick Ross, man, just because this boy, man, is
he the one who says I eat pears? Was that him?
I don't think so, but I noticed that Rick Ross, man.
It's him.
Is it actually him that goes, I eat pears? I fell down the stairs. I cry because nobody cares.
Nipple hairs.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
The big beefing boy.
Dude.
Shout out to all the
Legend, good song.
players.
Yeah. I don't have.
Legend Gobert.
I actually don't have a whole lot to say about Legend, but it's good, man. Rick Ross, legit. We meme Rick Ross a lot, and it's actually only because we like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's like anything else. I feel like it's just like a little bit of extended on the problems on the song, but this time he's giving more flack to like his ex, I think. Um,
To put Legend in short term, it is a song literally about his success, alongside like yeah, it's mainly just about his success in general. What he is now, what he's gonna be, and like if he dies now, it's like, I've done enough of this good work, so he's gonna die a legend.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I kind of forget what fucking Rick Ross's part was in on the song because I was
Dude,
definitely listening more
how could you
towards
ever
Joyner's
forget
part.
fucking big chains, big money?
Oh yeah, that's the only part I remember. Other than that, I didn't pay
No,
attention too much.
that's a
I
completely
was
different
literally,
song, but
I
I just
was
say that for
literally
everything Rick
more
Ross.
I like when I got to that song, I was literally more focused on wanting to listen to the last song because like I really wanted to hear like just
Yeah, no. Rick Ross's part was just he was just tagging along with Joyner. He's just like, haters are gonna hate, and if you hate, then you suck. That's literally what it is.
If
The
you
whole
hate,
song is
fuck
just,
you.
yeah, literally, like, yeah, you haters, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at where I'm at. Look at where he's at. You suck. Get out. And while the meaning of it is like, it's a little anticlimactic. There's nothing huge about the meaning of the song, and it's very simplified because there's a lot of people with this type of song, but Joyner obviously portrays it differently. He's uh there's a lot more lyrical differences in his versus like others, because people are like, oh, I got money, I got cars. Joyner Lucas is like, all
I
my
got enough money
success
for my
came from X here, X there,
and it's going to my
and
kid.
yeah, and then Rick Ross is just like, yeah, man, you're pretty cool.
Big chains, big money, more
Yeah.
power.
But
It's called
yeah, I mean,
motherfucking
regardless, this is
bars.
still a great song, and
You don't know
in the
nothing
perspective
about
of
that.
Joyner Lucas, it's just better.
Yeah. And then you get so that's pretty much Legends out in a nutshell. There's not really much to say. It was kind of just the generic. This is I've done all this shit. I'm okay with dying now. If I do die.
Then we
But
hit
then
the
you have
Father's Day.
then we hit fucking Father's Day, where the premise of the skit is that they are turning in project of drawings of them with their families, and all Joyner's turns in is him and I think his mom. And the teacher asks, "So where's your father, Joyner?" He's like, "I don't know, my dad." That and then she like pushes it off to the side. You're going into a corner until you learn what a dad is, and then that's pretty much where the skit ends. It's just literally seclusion because like you don't grow up with a traditional family like, and all the other kids are handing in papers with their mom and dad or their like mom, dad, and sister and brother and all this, etc. And he's left with this idea of loneliness of growing without a father for the skit, which is incredibly amazing because like anytime I remember doing that when I was a kid, literally drawing just me and my mom and my sister, sending it to the teacher, and she's like, "Oh, where's your dad?" And I was like, I don't know my dad." And then just like going past the question, like going past like the talk. So, and then this leads into the last song, which is the called "Like a River" featuring Elijah James, which is Joyner's signed artist. And this one hits really well on the money with how he sees his relationship with his father, how he grew up without him, and how he's going to be raising his kid, like because how he didn't want to be raised without one. He wants his kid to know his father. Uh, I need to kind of think about my opinion, so I'm gonna let you guys go and say your
Uh,
piece.
okay. I guess because I'm probably the one that's technically a little out, out of the circle on this one. I don't know your particular relationships with your parents for the both of you. Well, I kind of do for Riggs, anyways. Um, but my family dynamic has been mostly positive. So the message here of him talking about he's basically saying like he idolized his father for a majority of his younger life, but as he grew older, he started to realize that his father wasn't like a good like a productive person. He wasn't. He was kind of just like a sleaze. Had girls around. He didn't have a job. Just a rat, a goon. And the way he idolized, the way he talks about how he only saw him as like a superhero, and saw him in like this like golden light, like this is the person he wants to be. But then the true aspect of it is that he's just like not a good person, and just like kind of like what you would say a poor excuse for a dad, and how he doesn't want his kid to be or yeah, he wants to raise his kid in a better way, and just like yeah, just kind of just dumping on his dad.
Yeah,
But in all serious meetings, there's a lot of situations and stories like this. I think that's another reason why why he even put a song out like this, because he knows that there's a lot of people that um that that live this kind of life, and he even actually touched up on something like this in the 508 album, the I don't what is it? I don't want to be like you.
I think it's just
yeah,
like
And
you
oh,
or something like that.
just like you, yeah.
just like you.
And yeah, very similar song and what it's trying to say. Except it's more of the storytelling aspect of just I don't want to grow up to be like you. But in this iteration, it's him as his younger self, be still uh or seeing his father in a better way. Whereas in the other song, it was the kid who just uh disowned his own father pretty much because he knew he was already terrible at that point.
Yeah,
But yeah, for just the topic as a whole,
and
there's a lot of situations like this.
he's also talking about some of his experience. Like, I think the biggest one that stood out a lot was his own dad put Joyner in a foster home with other people, with random people, because he got angry at him for something, and
Hmm.
how Joyner felt was alone and scared. And that was when, like, I think that was probably like one of the biggest turning points in Joyner's life, on how he looked at his father, um, how how he would how he look at his son, like, I would never do that to my son, because how he just wants to show love and support for his son instead of showing him fear and like disgust,
Yeah.
on how his father showed him. uh I think the other big thing for this is just like, um how I think like how the rivers, from the just the title, like a river, um there's like turning points where it's up and down, but it's still like a flowed motion of, this is what Jordan's father has done to him, and how he wants to turn around, raise the bar, and never gonna do anything to his son. Like, I'm gonna show my son love. I'm gonna show him protection. I'm gonna protect him. Never gonna be like you at all. That's pretty much this what Mario was saying.
Mhm.
A lot of. What do you think, Rix?
So I actually just can't talk about this too much, just because I will just burst out crying because it hits way too close to home.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what I can say is that the song really hits hard, where it's the want to raise your kid better than the way that you were raised from your father. Because like it's it's just such a different feeling, and I don't know if people can feel it from the outside of the perspective, but the moment it starts going into that, it's literally all I've. It's been one of the major points in my head for like the last 7 years. Really, like even when I was still back in high school, just that, like God, I want to be a good dad. That's one of the main things that I've ever fixed anything, any anger issues, anything in my life was always because I had that background thought that's like, I don't want my kid to deal with this. I want to be the good dad. I don't want my kid to deal with anything that I dealt with.
Yeah.
So it's like
And this is just like
it
from the
hits.
first part of the song, because then Elijah's chorus cuts in, and then he goes on continuing to talk about his father, and in a matter of his at this point, Joyner's made it. He's big. He's successful, and his father started another family, and he has more kids. With and I think he says like, I don't want to be this hoodlum with 13 kids and like 9 bitches. I think that's right. Uh, I want to be, I want my kid to know me. I don't want, and then uh, he's talking about like, you told your other kids, that, you know, that I'm an awful person, that I've done awful things. And, tell him the opposite of like like the father's making a point for him to be the good person in the scenario where Joyner's like the greedy, selfish guy who's not doing anything for his fucking family. And, Joyner's like, yo, you're just, I think in the end, I know that I'm better than you. I think you're just jealous of what I've done and what I've become and succeeded in.
Yeah.
Because he says that at one point, we could have done a song together. Was like that. I can't relate to any of that. I don't know what I don't know what my father thinks of me. I don't really care. But I know for like a lot of situations, kids who are like that, who have become successful in bigger ways than their father, a lot of them will come back and like try to want something, and then you just end up saying no. You weren't there for me. Why do you deserve this when you weren't the one that raised me?
In this song in particular, I think the things I appreciate the most about it is like what he does with a lot of his music is he takes you through every step of the way of what from start to finish of what he felt during the beginning and what he feels now. Because like I said, from the beginning he talks about how he idolized them as a kid, and then eventually started to understand that he wasn't the best, and then like he started to rap to like
Impress them.
start like a relationship with his father, being like like, oh, I'm gonna start doing this as like a passion kind of thing. And then he even like mentions like I want to build like a father son relationship that we can be proud of. And then to like no event, that's where like he talks about that no matter what he does, he just can't please him and can't get to like that relationship that he thinks of. And then like the Elijah James chorus kicks in where he's like, you are so negative. And then it just keeps downplaying throughout the rest of the song where it's just him progressively giving up on the fact that he needs to do this. And it's to the turning point where I don't need to do anything for you and I don't need to be like you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be better for my kid. That's pretty
Yeah.
much what the premise of the song is.
It's definitely a very it's one of the most
it's the hardest hitting song on the album next to
yeah.
I think the two hardest hitting things I've seen in this song, I don't think you can really say one's better. I think it's just like because they're both hitting on a hard subject, one for the people and for a culture and society, and then one towards himself. But also you could relate to a lot of people could relate to this kind of thing as well.
Mm.
You good, Riggs?
Okay, Riggs.
I'm fine, man. I'm fine. Allergies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think we can I think overall we can close up on this topic. I do absolutely want to say that this song or this album, no doubt in my mind, is a 10 for me.
Yeah, I was also gonna say this.
I downplayed this album so much when I first heard it, And despite him being one of my absolute favorite artists, if not my actually favorite artist, I to downplay something like this was, like I said, I was just spoiled from the last album. But the more that you dive into the album, the more you re-listen to it, understanding every single bits and pieces of what he's saying. Um, and Joyner Lucas is just one amazing artist. He shows his diversity in every single album. He knows what he's doing. He's lyrical. He's fast. He has the storytelling. He has pretty much everything that a good artist needs. And he just does not make bad music. It's insane.
Yeah.
This album, like I said, no doubt in my mind, 10 out of 10. And this is like something I would rarely give. Like I would be very biased to give this a 10 because he is like my favorite artist, but this is my pure unadulterated, unbiased opinion.
There's so much substance in this album that you really can't just go and overlook like every single song, because like this isn't like the biggest of a bop album compared to like ADHD, because like ADHD was just a full bop, where this one has so much substance. Even if you don't bop it, you can still fucking bop it. Like,
Yeah,
because like
it's a different type of bop, bro.
Yeah, you can fucking bop it in different ways, and it's always gonna hit. It hits so hard, and for so many people, you can hit so close to home, and you get such a detailed and fast-paced story of it. Even if you take away the fast pace and you put it into a slow pace, and a lot of the songs are slow pace, you're gonna get a huge, intricate story of not just his life, somebody else's life, but it could also pertain to your life. So this album is literally just like the 508 album. It's a 10 out of 10. So much substance. The storytelling is on point. I recommend this album to be just listened to, even if you aren't a Joyner fan, or even if you aren't even a rap fan, and you've been through that kind of struggle. Whether you're from the hood, from the suburbs, or even like a rich person, you can relate to this album in more ways than one. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say, man. It's clearly a 10. I fucked with Joyner for too long, and like the only album that he's ever released that wasn't a 10 to me was Along Came Joyner, and that one was still like a high 8. That was his first album that he dropped off on, and then like 508. 10 for me. ADHD 10 for me. This is a 10 for me. I don't really count Stranger Things, that album technically isn't even finished yet. It's just like 3-4 songs, but still, every song on that Chris Brown x Joyner Lucas collab album was still fucking fire. It's just this guy's progression's too good. I don't see this man.
The album is truly worthy of the name Evolution.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today, guys. That's literally all what we wanted to talk about. We went a little bit.
1 hour 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to Joyner Lucas, it's definitely more of a breakdown than it is for like most other artists that we have, because I think we only spent like 15 minutes on Kid Laroi.
15-20,
yeah. And just to reiterate for people who are watching, the scheduling was more towards the future videos that we're gonna have. Today was just an exception, just because it is Joyner Lucas, and this is an album we definitely have to break down to the bare bones, because it is something that that we definitely all care about, and that's why we don't throw out random 10 out of 10s for an album.
Yeah.
So this is something that we had to just break down song by song to really give an opinion about, and have our score be validated for what we're saying. But for future videos, it will be less than an hour for sure, roughly probably around the 45-minute mark, as we will try to sum up and talk about some other albums in the future. But this is one that we're very that we've been waiting to talk about, because it's our favorite artist, and started this whole group in the first place.
Yeah. Also, literally, fucking Joyner has never made a bad song.
Yeah.
Fucking 10 out of 10, dude, as an artist.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend to give this album a listen. Definitely, if you haven't heard 508 or Along Came Joyner or even ADHD, literally go and listen to them.
Very
So
rewarding artist to be a fan of.
yeah, so we're definitely gonna give you guys. We're gonna pass you guys off. We hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for coming to watch the podcast. Definitely, thank you for sticking with us through our long break. It's going to be a little bit of a short transition because we are having to record instead of stream. So
We're gonna try to get this thing done with the time that we have, despairingly time.
Yeah.
And
thank you
yeah,
guys for watching. You can catch Riggs at One Trick Daddy at twitch.tv, and you can also catch him on Twitter. You definitely follow Mario on Scarada at twitter.com, and you can follow me at Desmond DeRay for Instagram and Twitter, and we'll be logging off. Thanks guys for watching.
Peace.
peace out.